Welcome back, OnGaard Army. It's rotation time, and with rotation comes new fun decks in order to experiment with in a brand new format. And one that I've been having a lot of fun with has been Metagross EX, or more specifically, Steven's Metagross EX. Steven's Metagross has an ability called X-Boot that lets you once during your turn search your deck for a Psychic and Metal Energy card, and attach them to your Psychic and Metal Pokemon in any way you like. You can do this once for each of the Steven's Metagross you have in play, so you could have 2 to 3 of these in play and do it multiple times in a turn. This allows us to build our deck in a very toolboxy way, where we can play a lot of different attackers for different situations. The main one of which, aside from the Metagross itself, is Jellicent EX. This one has the ability Oceanic Curse, which as long as it's in the active spot, your opponent can't play items or tool cards. This allows us to slow down our opponent while putting on early game pressure with Power Press, starting with 80 damage and then being able to accelerate very quickly up to that 160 that it's able to do. Before we've even gotten into the Jellicent though, we are able to get turn 1 Oceanic Glooms off with Frillish, as long as we start some sort of out to Petrel, and a singular Psychic Energy. This allows us to use our Precious Trolley in order to search for a bunch of basics, set up our board, grab ourselves Latias and retreat into Frillish, attach, and Oceanic Gloom. But even if we don't start a Psychic Energy in our opening hand, we can still get that item lock turn 1 by just grabbing a Budew instead, because it doesn't require any energy to attack with it. Itchypollen doing 10 and item locking our opponent gives us some time to establish our Metagrosses sooner rather than later. We also have a 1-1 Empoleon EX line. This ability, Emperor's Stance, prevents all effective attacks used by our opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. This is really good into a format that Alakazam is super popular in, because this just blocks Alakazam entirely, and any of the things that it could actually hit us with we can minimize the damage from by swinging with Iron Feathers, which makes us take 60 less damage from attacks. Also, 210 is just a really good number to hit in this format. Being able to, like, boss up a Fez or an Ogerpon or something and just swing with Iron Feathers is so good in this format. We also have Mega Mawile EX as a really good closer card. This one, as long as we've been able to take prizes throughout the game, snowballs very quickly, because for each prize card we've taken, this does 80 additional damage for 2 energy. But Huge Bite is not to be slept on either, because it's a very easy way of taking big KOs very early as well, because we can accelerate onto this with Steven's Metagross. This also is an attack that even if we haven't taken a lot of prizes, if your opponent has gotten super ahead of the game and they even Blood Moon you, this is one of the few attacks that just nukes a Blood Moon Ursaluna, which probably won't come up super frequently, but I do think it's neat to note that this does hit like a flat 260, which I think is really good. Now, I've got to say, I think that this card is probably the best card in the deck. Mega Skarmory EX has the attack Sonic Ripper, which is shuffle all energy attached to this Pokemon into your deck, and this does 220 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. This not only allows us to reuse energy to be able to keep using X-Boot to accelerate to different things, but this also allows us to repeatedly use Sonic Ripper, which sniping something for 220 is extremely strong. And because Shaman only blocks snipe damage to benched non-rule box Pokemon, we can snipe a Fezandipiti on the bench to stop our opponent from being able to draw out of something, which I think is one of the strongest things in the game currently that you can do in this current format, is being able to judge your opponent down to 4, and then also remove their Fez in a single turn. That's why I think Mega Skarmory is genuinely the best card in the deck. We also have Genesect EX, which very quickly sets up our board. We don't really care if they take some early prizes, so when we use an early Precious Trolley, we will be grabbing this initially just to be able to thin our deck and grab our evolutions, so we can get into our Metagrosses very quickly. It also actually can attack in this deck, because we can X-Boot onto it and use Protect Charge to reduce damage to this Genesect itself, which is pretty good into one prize decks, because you can just reduce damage taken. Fezandipiti EX is going to allow us to draw cards throughout the game. There's not really a draw engine to this deck. It's kind of like a Gardevoir in that regard. But Fezandipiti at least gives us a way to draw out of awkward situations if we're, like, unfair stamped or judged down to a less than optimal hand. In addition to that, we also have Meowth EX, which with Last Ditch Catch, which is basically Tapu Lele GX or Lumineon V. When you play it onto your bench, you get to search your deck for a supporter card and put it into your hand. Not only is this really good for, like, mid to late game deck searches for, like, boss or judge at the correct times, but in the early game, if you whiff other outs to your Petrel to be able to find your Precious Trolley, you can just use a singular Ultra Ball to find Meowth, to find Petrel, to grab Precious Trolley, and then set up your board from there. We also have Lillie's Clefairy. Obviously, if we're playing something that can accelerate Psychic energies, we should be playing the best Psychic attacker in the game. This makes our opponent's Dragon Pokemon Psychic weak, meaning that we can KO Dragapult fairly easily. But we don't even need to necessarily swing with the Lillie's Clefairy. We could leave it in the safety of our bench, while we are able to swing with a fully set up Jellicent, or even a Latias, which this actually comes up periodically. We then, for our supporter line, we have 4 Lillie's Determination, 4 Team Rocket's Petrel, 2 Boss for a bit of Gust, 2 Judge for a bit of Disruption, 4 Ultra Ball to maximize our finding Meowth for Petrel consistency, or Meowth for any of our supporter consistency, and our evolutions. We've got 1 Buddy Buddy Poffin, mainly for if the Precious Trolley is prized. We've got the Precious Trolley to be able to set up our board very, very quickly. 2 Team Rocket's Transceiver as 2 more direct outs to Petrel, which we will be using Petrel multiple times throughout the game, generally. We've got 3 Rare Candy to be able to jump from Beldum into Metagross, or from Piplup into Empoleon in the Alakazam matchup. We've got 1 Energy Recycler in order to put back energy after they've been discarded after we're, like, knocked out, to be able to use X-Boot throughout the entire game. 2 Night Stretcher for just being able to get back individual energy or Pokemon. This is really good if you're like, I need to attach a specific energy and also accelerate one of each from X-Boot. Particularly to swing with, like, Skarmory, it's super nice, because you can X-Boot Metal and Psychic onto it, and then Night Stretcher for Metal, and then attach. I think Night Stretcher is just kind of an energy search to some degree in this deck, but it's also good for getting back our Pokemon if we had to discard them early, because we are playing 4 Ultra Balls. We've got 1 Jumbo Ice Cream. Mainly everything is going to have 3+ energy on it, so this is a good way to heal off a bit of damage, especially against spread decks. Team Rocket's Watchtower is a good way for us to shut down decks with Owl, shut down opposing Meowths for stopping them from grabbing Boss for game. It's just a really good, like, disruptive card. I'm not 100% sure if it's necessary, but it's cool in here. Battle Cage is also another option that does help with the Dragapult matchup. And then we also have a Team Rocket's Factory. I just thought that this would be nice for, like, the situations that were, like, disrupted and we have Petrel, but we're like, okay, we actually just need cards. We could go Petrel for Team Rocket's Factory, and draw 2. Or if we just have it in hand, we can play it, Petrel for 1 card we need, and then Team Rocket's Factory and try and draw into the other one. It's nice, don't think it's necessary, but it has been fun to play around with. Then we've got 5 Metal Energy, and 5 Psychic Energy. I think this list is super fun. We also got some games in at the last stream that I did over on Twitch, twitch.tv/OnGaard, which we're going to feature some of those highlight games right now. Alright, I think Metagross has a fair bit of potential. Hi, Wendy! Hello, Wendy! I think Metagross has a fair bit of potential. I think it's just going to be a matter of how we approach whatever matchup we hit here. I think it doesn't have a lot of power, but it has a lot of consistency in setup. Has a lot of options. Okay. Some form of Mega Kanga deck. some not fantastic starting hands, but if they don't donk me immediately, I can go immediately into Steven's Metagross. This at least makes it where if I'm, like, insta-judged, I can still, like, find the supporter here. Or not the supporter, the evolutions. This at least is a guaranteed Steven's Metagross next turn. Not the biggest fan of this setup currently, though. Okay. Okay, so this is quote-unquote slop box. So it's Clefairy Ogerpon is what it really is. That's a cool first matchup to hit here. We can see how this will work. If I top deck Candy, this hand is actually really good. I could just immediately take a 2-prize knockout here if I'm able to go Candy, Steven's Metagross, Boss. Ooh, okay. I could kind of make up for that if I swing into this. Cyrano. Well, that would be really bad if they're able to get, like, Teal Mask, Teal Dance, E-Switch over. That would be really bad. Definitely not, like, an ideal start. Did I opt first? Am I stupid? Oh, no, they won the coin flip. They just decided to go second. Which tracks? Okay, that's Meowth, Lopunny, Kanga. What I really need to do is just kind of try and prize race here, because at the end of the game, I can just go Mega Mawile for game. This seems fine. I'm gonna Petrel. I think we just go for Candy. And I can go Ultra Ball and get another guy down. Let's go X-Boot. So that is 2 metal prized, which I don't really like. I'm gonna grab both of these. I can afford to pitch some here. We're gonna pitch Empoleon. I'm not gonna need it for this matchup. I do have Boss. I think it's probably just better to get down another Beldum. This isn't dying immediately. This I can just accelerate to with X-Boot, so this is okay. We'll just half hit the Kanga for now. Next turn I can chase the Kanga, take the 3-prize knockout. Which gets me closer to being able to Mega Mawile for game. They already have double Lillie's Clefairy pearled up. Glitch, hello! It has been a hot minute. I have not streamed in months. Genuinely, though, I've missed streaming so much. The main reason I stopped streaming is I got a promotion at work and I wanted to focus on that. And then I also did a lot of traveling for Pokemon recently. So now that I've, like, been able to feel like I'm managing my time better, I feel like I can come back to streaming. At least, like, semi-regularly. Don't know how, like, frequent it's gonna be, but, like, I want to chat with people. Certainly not gonna be a full-time streamer anytime soon, though. Yeah, real life always comes first, but overall things have been good lately. I just now have found the time to be able to get back to this, because genuinely, I love it. I love streaming. That was Lillie's. They should be hitting me for 230 here. I'll chase down the Kanga with this. which will then put me with the ability to just go into another Metagross after. Certainly not bad. I can live with this. I don't even know if I want to Watchtower here. I'm just gonna go for this. I will X-Boot. I don't want to grab the metal. Is it to one of my Pokemon? In any way I like. So as long as I put this here, this should be fine. Shuffling with this doesn't change anything. I'm just gonna Metal Stomp for knockout. This seems entirely fine. Like, I don't think I can really get punished for this. Like, this is gonna go down, but then I'll have Metagross. As long as I don't bench another, like, 2-prizer, like Clefairy here, I think I should be okay. Yeah, they don't grab anything there, they just set up another Clefairy in the back. I think I just gotta go for, like, double hit on Lopunny again. Like, I have this guaranteed as long as I have the Genesect here, and if they gust this, they're not KOing this. Which is still fine. Hey, iCupboard, hello! It has been a hot minute. I have missed streaming. It's not bad. It's a pretty good start for them. I'm glad to be back. It's been a minute, and I've definitely missed streaming, but I've just had so much going on lately. Nothing bad, per se. Honestly, things have been going pretty well. Like, the main reason I stepped away from, like, streaming was because I got a promotion at work. I still have that promotion. Hey, Jose, hello! It's been a minute. I mean, it hasn't been a minute since I've, like, seen you. I saw you literally last week. But yeah, that's the main reason I stepped away from streaming, is I just wanted to dedicate more time to work. This is pretty good, actually. I can go... If we go Metallic Signal here, we can grab the Metagrosses. Yeah, honestly, I'm not too upset that they made Megas into triple prizers. What I am kind of sad about is the fact that they made them potentially basics. Like, they don't evolve from their base form, which is not great. I think I like the idea of doing this. And grabbing Meowth. I'd like to set them down to a low hand size. I don't need to proc their Fez. This seems fine. Starmie is really good. I'm gonna go X-Boot. I'm just gonna grab one. They don't have a way of, like, fully killing me. I just want to leave more metal in deck for me to be able to, like, Mega at the end of this. Oh, for sure, for sure. I'll catch you later, Jose. Garchomp seems really good this format. See you tomorrow. But yeah, I really like Garchomp. I do wish that Megas were, like, evolved from their base form, like they were kind of like breaks, or like how Megas used to be, where you used, like, a Spirit Link, but without needing the Spirit Link. I don't think they were ever really necessary. I think this is fine. I'll Metal Stomp here. Half hitting that seems good. Then just a boss wins me the game. So maybe I shouldn't have even used Meowth. Maybe I should have just hit this and held this. Oh, for sure. I'd like to see it, because honestly, I think that Cynthia's Garchomp is in, like, a better position than it ever has been, really. Realistically, I could Team Rocket's Transceiver just to thin the Petrel out of deck. Ultra Ball for Fez if they take the knockout on either of these. If they swing into this, that's also fine. Boss, yeah, that makes sense. Full move on for... Ooh, one short of knockout. That's good for me, I'd say. Trolley's good here. They can't fully take the knockout here. I'll Trolley. We'll grab as many things as, like, help me get to what I want to get to here. I need 3, so realistically Mega Skarmory kind of gets me there. If I put this here, and then I go, like, X-Boot, and I accelerate onto this, that seems super solid. I think I use the Team Rocket's Transceiver because I don't think there's gonna be anything on the... that could be false. I'll just Lillies here. I'll Lillies for 6. That's fine. But do I go for, like, Snipe the Fez, or do I go for just KO the active? I think sniping the Fez might be better, but then again, if I just leave this open, I can just win the game at any point. I think I'm just gonna swing with Metagross. It requires them to boss me and not, like, disrupt me. That's fine. Plus, I have Recycler in hand. If I could see, like, Night Stretcher Recycler, I think I win regardless. I think having a mechanic that is to Tag Team GX was to EX is fine. Reducing Megas to that feels lackluster right now, in light of how most new mechanics are just double, triple prizers by different names. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that... Honestly, I really enjoy how the current format is. I just wish that, like, in terms of, like, a... like, flavor. Like, how Megas are supposed to be in the games, how they are Mega Evolutions, is how I wish they were, but I'm not upset with how they currently play. Because, like, this guy's just Mega Skarmory. He didn't evolve from Skarmory, he's just here. You can just play him onto your board. Like, from, like, a flavor point of view, it's like a, dang, I kind of wish that I got to, like, evolve this into it. Even if it's like a, you just need 2 pieces in order to do it, and you can evolve it immediately. Like, you don't have to wait a turn to evolve into a Mega. That would be kind of cool, I think. Okay. Blood Moon. I mean, as long as they can't kill this, I'm fine. I've got a guy in the active that they basically can't kill. I've got a guy on the bench that they basically can't kill. Yeah, we're fine. We win. We just retreat into Mega Skarmory and we snipe for game. Wait, I could have won last turn. What am I doing? I just realized I could have won by sniping this last turn. Lamau. I took an unnecessary knockout. I could have just won off that. That's so funny. Would you rather play 3 Pokegear if that means playing 3 boss, or would you play 2 Pokegear and 4 boss? I think 3 boss, 3 gear is better, because you can find your Lillies more consistent that way, and the Lillies are more important earlier game, and the bosses are more important later. Plus, you'd rather not see your bosses earlier, but you'd rather see outs to find your boss. Like, either earlier or later game, depending on what supporter you'd use. I think of Pokegear as, like, an out to either or, rather than, like... Because playing an additional boss is like a, you're going to see it more early as well, and you're going to see your Lillies less early, because you're cutting down another out to Lillie while going up another out to boss. I think there's arguments for, like, going down Pokegears for more supporters if it's, like, something you need to see earlier or something that you're like, okay, I need to be able to play this card to get myself around item lock. For example, if you're playing a Petrel engine deck, cutting a Pokegear for another Petrel is good, especially if you're playing Secret Box, because then you could go Petrel for Secret Box, get your, like, setup, and then grab your Lillies for the following turn. In Grimmsnarl, I think that's super important right now. Like, I think you'd rather play more Petrel and less gear in that particular deck because you need to see it earlier and it guarantees your setup. Was I forced first again? Yet they decided to go second. Well, we will simply pass. I don't need to Transceiver. I can just play Petrel. It's not like this Latias can get donked or anything, so I think we're okay. The thing I would like to see here is I would love to see a Psychic Energy. But worst case scenario, I guess I can just Budew them. This is definitely going to be a, like, grab a Frillish, grab a Budew, grab double Beldum, maybe leave a bench space open for Clefairy? That being said, if they don't have an attachment down on the Riolu yet, it's probably fine to just bench the Clefairy initially. But they did just get attachment onto Riolu, so maybe I just grab, like, double Frill. Okay, one Beldum's good here. I'm gonna use Transceiver just to see if the Precious Trolley's in deck. Because if it's not in deck, I'm cooked. Or I'd have to Lillies, at the very least. Okay, it's in deck. We're gonna go for that. Gonna grab Trolley. And we've got Lillies for next turn. So I need to grab another one of these. I need this, I need this. We don't have a second Frillish to grab. And my Lillies is prized. I could grab Genesect just to thin. I think that's not bad here. I think we go for that. Because, like, I've already got a 2-prizer on the board. If they go, like, Attach, Evolve, Gust, it's not the end of the world. Grab one of each of these. And then I'm gonna get this thing item locked. No Psychic Energy means I can't Oceanic Gloom, but at the very least, because I play Budew as well, that's not, like, always necessary. MTG tried something similar with Meld, found that one card being dead in hand without another wasn't great design, like Ritual Monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! So they had the two have function separately and then power up once you got both together. Yeah, I like those kind of effects, where it's like, okay, if you can still use something even if it's not to its, like, full extent of power, but it gets powered up by you having the other one, and vice versa. Like, Solrock and Lunatone are a good example of that, where it's like... Well, I mean, I guess these are a bad example of that, because they really can't do anything without the other. That's fine. So this is going to be a I need the Jellicent immediately kind of situation. I go Evolve here. Ooh, actually I could Latias. Latias would not be bad here. I don't want to X-Boot yet, mainly because I wouldn't necessarily hit what I need. We're gonna Lillies, or we could Judge first. And just go for Eon Blade, because they can't really respond if I hit it. I think I Lillies just because I have more outs to hitting the Psychic. There we go. I can Frillish, like, after this. Eon Blade's actually really good here. I think I'm gonna get my Jellicent now, because they can use their power premium pros right now, but they won't be able to kill. So they'd be able to kill the Frillish if I don't evolve this now. If I evolve this now, they don't really have a way to kill the Jellicent. So we'll take our 3-prize KO with Latias here. And then I don't think they have a way of knocking me out. And now that I have Clefairy, I do have a way of knocking this out. Which I guess is a reason to not have played this, is this could get stalled. But even if they stall this, like, what does that do for them? I just accelerate here, and then I hit them for 160. And they can't even kill me, because I'd be stopping them from playing Power Premium Pro. Salvatore is a funny card to play as well, but then you could just play Rare Candy instead. With Pokegear, you can find Salvatore a bit more consistently. Yeah, I think also, with Meowth, it's gonna be way easier to be able to pull off, like, your Salvatores now, because, like, it's not a dead card after turn 1 of the game if you're trying to get immediate Salvatore, like Call Bell was. Missed opportunity that they don't have the owner's Pokemon that switch owners when they evolve Trainer A's Hunter to Trainer B's Gengar. I could see that, yeah. I kind of wish that you could evolve a regular Zorua into, like, an N-Zorua. Or into an N-Zoroark, I mean. I think that would be cool. Oh, Quad Premium Power Pro to knock out Latias? You're insane for that, man. Hell yeah. I'm so glad I have the Budew here now, because now I just win, but that's hilarious. That's awesome, dude. Okay. That's a highlight for sure. Beep. Beep. But yeah. Free win. Free dub.